Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is still trading in this sideways price range as the price is now moving towards massive volatility coming very soon, while more liquidations are building to the upside, while Ethereum is now flashing a new signal in the short term that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, the price of Bitcoin is technically still within a larger bullish trend on these larger timeframes like the 3-day chart, forming higher lows and higher highs. And so technically speaking, this is also known as a bullish market on the larger timeframes here. So as of right now, over the last few days, nothing has really changed here on the 3-day Bitcoin chart. And the same can be said about this 3-day Bitcoin chart right here. As of right now, we're still potentially forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is a bullish pattern with a bullish price target if we confirm a breakout above the neckline, which is sitting at around 71.7k. And in order to confirm a breakout above that level, we need to ideally see a 3-day candle close above that level, and ideally above 73 to 74,000 to become more confident that we're actually flipping more bullish again here on the larger timeframes. Because obviously, even though we're still technically within this larger bullish trend, we've clearly taken a bit of a break or a pause from that bullish trend for the time being, just in the somewhat shorter term. Because of course, even during a bullish trend, we don't see 100% only bullish price action straight to the upside. We do have times where we have short-term pullbacks or short-term sideways consolidations during the larger bullish trend. And so at least for now, in the somewhat shorter term, we're looking relatively neutral and potentially forming this massive bullish pattern, but we can only start really flipping much more bullish again on the larger timeframes if we start seeing a confirmed breakout above this resistance. And if we're taking a look at the DXY, also known as the US dollar index, as of right now, this is still experiencing that bounce to the upside. But since my last video, we don't really have any new information on the DXY. So if you missed my last video, then definitely check that video out if you want to know more about this chart right here. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, as of right now, and as I've been saying over the last couple of weeks, we're actually looking relatively neutral here on the daily time frame, just in the shorter term, while the price is in this choppy sideways price range in between this area of support and this area of resistance. And this area of support, by the way, is sitting in between around 67 to 68,000, and this area of resistance is sitting in between around 72,000 to 74,000. So at least for now, we're still finding strong support in that area and strong resistance in that area. And so once again, like I've been saying since all the way back here, I expect most likely just some choppy sideways price action, relatively neutral price action just in the shorter term here, which is obviously made up of short-term bullish and bearish movements pretty much every few days. And believe it or not, even during this choppy sideways price action, you can actually make a lot of easy profits in crypto. This is actually a gold mine in crypto anytime where we see a choppy sideways price range. And if you want to know how you can easily profit from this type of price action, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But once again, at least for now, we're still looking relatively neutral just in the shorter term during a much larger bullish trend when we're zooming all the way out. And if we're zooming all the way into the short term, looking at the 2-hour Bitcoin chart, we can see over the weekend, and as we've seen in previous weekends, those are usually the time periods where we have the lowest volatility. And I mentioned this in my last video here on the channel, and since my last video, we've barely seen any major move here in the price of Bitcoin. Obviously, we saw a very small move slightly back to the upside, but pretty much no major volatility here in the short term over the weekend. But if we're looking at some of these previous weekends that we've seen over the last 1 month or so, we can see that right around the end of the weekend, as we're entering into the new week, that is where the volatility really starts picking up. And so in this first example right here, at the end of the weekend, we actually saw a bit of a short-term dump. And then right in the new week, on the Monday, entering into the Tuesday, we saw a major spike to the upside in the price of Bitcoin, a massive volatile move. And if we're looking at this second example, we saw a little bit more volatility right near the end of the weekend, but then over the following 1 day or so, as we were entering into the new week, we saw a massive volatile move, basically straight to the upside, followed followed by an extremely volatile move, basically straight back to the downside. So a lot more volatility as we entered into the new week. And if we're looking at this third example, pretty much exactly as the weekend was ending, as we were entering into the new week, we basically saw a lot more volatility pretty much immediately as the new week began. And so just keep that in mind. Once again, as I said in my last video, over the weekend, we should be expecting relatively low volatility, basically boring price action. But now that we're about to enter into the new week, we should be expecting potentially, most likely, more volatility in the price of Bitcoin. So just keep that in mind. And with that being said, what about my trading strategy? And as of right now, my Bitcoin trading strategy has not changed over the last 2 days. So as of right now, this is still currently a $100,000 Bitcoin long position, which I have already taken profits from, and my stop loss is already well into profits. And so essentially, I'm long on the price of Bitcoin. I'm bullish on the price of Bitcoin, especially in terms of the larger moves at play. But even in the worst case scenario, if the price just crashes, then I still make money from this trade because the stop loss is in profits and I have already secured profits from the trade. And as always, I've been sharing this trading strategy basically step by step every single day, very transparently here on the channel on these YouTube videos completely for free ever since I began entering into this very trade below $60,000. And so this is why it is important to subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos where I'm actually sharing these trading strategies where you could potentially make a lot of easy money as I'm doing right here. And if you're wondering where I'm taking this trade, personally, I'm taking this trade right here and pretty much all of my Bitcoin trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link below this video, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim an exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position just by making a Bybit account using that link, making a deposit and claiming the airdrop. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see a massive area of liquidity sitting right at around 72,000, just above 72K, or more specifically in between around 72.2K to 72.4K. And as of right now, we have over $1 billion of liquidity, $1 billion worth of short positions that will get liquidated if the price of Bitcoin crosses above that area right there on the chart. And also, since my last video, we have actually built a little bit of downside liquidity, mainly sitting at around 68.4K. So just keep that in mind. There is some liquidity starting to build just below the current price. But with that being said, at least as of right now, we simply have much more liquidity to the upside compared to what we have to the downside, at least in the somewhat shorter term here. And in case you're new to all of this, usually the price of Bitcoin likes to go towards where there's a lot of liquidity, and oftentimes if we liquidate a lot of positions, the price actually propels further in that direction, because basically if we liquidate short positions, that can cause a short squeeze, which is bullish, or if we liquidate long positions, that can cause a long squeeze, which would be bearish. And basically, the more liquidity that we have at a certain level, the more important that level is on the chart. So around 72 to 72,500 is definitely an important level to pay attention to. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, and as of right now, the price of ETH is still lacking momentum in the short term, as I've been saying over and over again recently here on the channel. But with that being said, because we have not yet seen a break below the point of the breakout for this falling wedge, which is sitting at around 3.2K, technically speaking, this breakout and this falling wedge is still active with a price target at around 40.70. And if we're taking a look at this 8-hour time frame, we can see right now the price of ETH is finding perfect support once again at this golden pocket, which was previous support and previous resistance, sitting in between around 3.6K to 36.50. And so at least for now, that is the important area of support to pay attention to in the short term. And if we actually broke below 3.6k, in that case, if we saw candle closes below 3.6k, then the next major level of support is sitting at around 34.50. And below that, we have a significant level of support at around 3.3k. And now, if we end up seeing a further bounce from this golden pocket right here, if we do not break below that level, then for resistance to the upside to pay attention to, we do have resistance at around 38.20, more resistance at around 38.70, and more resistance at around 39.50. But if we're zooming into the much shorter term, looking at the 2-hour ETH to US dollar chart, we can see right now a new bullish divergence has just confirmed in the price of ETH over the last 1 day, with slightly lower lows confirmed here in the candle closes in the price action and higher lows confirmed in the RSI. And this bullish divergence basically tells us that we should not really be expecting a lot of bearish momentum just in the imminent short term here. And usually these bullish divergences play out in the form of either a bullish relief or choppy sideways price action as the most likely outcomes just over the next 1 to 2 days or so. Because usually on the 2-hour time frame, these patterns and signals play out only over just a couple of days before they start kind of fading away into irrelevance. And so essentially, I would not be surprised if over the next 1 day, we see either some more choppy sideways price action like what we've seen just here, if not potentially a little bit more of a bounce from this area of support. But basically, I'd not necessarily expect any major moves in the market just in the immediate short term here for the price of ETH, as in talking about the coming hours, maybe over the next day or so. But just keep in mind on the ETH BTC chart on the weekly time frame, this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. As of right now, Ethereum is still technically within a much larger bearish trend on the weekly time frame. That has been the case for multiple years now. And just recently, we did indeed see another rejection from this significant line of resistance, forming a new lower high in this bearish trend. So at least for now, Ethereum is still looking more bearish against Bitcoin. And so that basically means Bitcoin is currently outperforming Ethereum. So Ethereum is simply not doing as good as what Bitcoin is doing, at least as of right now. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, over the last 1 day, we actually saw a dip below 160. And as of right now, we have quickly reclaimed 160. So this is still a critical level to pay attention to. But what this tells us is that, at least in the immediate short term, the price of Solana is lacking momentum, because we did actually see an initial 8-hour candle close just below 160. And if we were actually having bearish momentum, then obviously we were likely going to see a move down towards this next major area of support in between around 140 to 144. But because the price quickly reclaimed that level, but is also failing to experience a massive bullish move, this is basically telling us that Solana is lacking momentum to either direction as of right now. So I would not be surprised if over the next few days we actually see some more choppy sideways price action, relatively neutral price action just in the short term, because the market is lacking momentum. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions and short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.